Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are doing something that isn't pancake related. I've ran out of ideas there, so I moved on to a new idea, which is clearing out my phone of open tabs. Doesn't sound too exciting, but I got a lot of articles. I have a lot of kind of like how-to guides of things that I'm like, I could definitely do that, little like DIY stuff. But I also have a lot of recipes that, I'm scrolling through Reddit, whatnot, and a recipe pops up. I'm like, ooh, that seems interesting. But I know that I'm gonna forget about it the second I step away from it. So I just open it as a new tab on my phone and then kind of still forget about it. But it's sitting there waiting for me to come back to it. So we're gonna go through those and hopefully make some delicious food. What we're making today is lemon tangerine posset, which can also be called lemon curdled cream if you really want to. It sounds gross, but you are effectively going to be curdling the heavy whipping cream with lemon juice. Just bear with me. I'm hoping it is good. I've never had it before, but if you've never heard of it before, you are uncultured, because it's been around since the 15th century and has even made an appearance in a Shakespeare play, Macbeth. In Macbeth, Lady Macbeth actually uses posset to deliver poison to the guards outside of Duncan's room. However, posset back then is very different from what we have today. Back then, it was served hot, it was spiced, and it was also, it wasn't curdled with lemon juice, it was curdled with wine or ale. So a little bit more of an adult beverage back then versus what we're making today. Does not have alcohol in it. But the kind of science behind what we're doing today is also quite interesting to me. So dairy products, in our case cream, has casein in it, which you might be familiar if you delve at all into trying not to get your mouth on fire after eating something spicy. So the spiciness comes from like the capsaicin in the chili pepper, and that, I believe, bonds with your tongue. It does something in your mouth. It bonds with something going on in there, and then just makes that burning sensation. And casein will actually kind of bond with it instead, and then you can kind of like wash it down, and then it alleviates that burning sensation. That is not relevant to what we're doing today, but what is relevant is that casein is a negatively charged molecule, while the lemon juice has a positive charge to it. So when we add the two together, the charges kind of neutralize, and the negative charge, which previously was kind of keeping all the casein from kind of clumping together, now doesn't exist anymore. So they'll start clumping. So and that's how you get like curds, which, if you think that any of that is gross, you're like, we're adding an acid to milk. Like, who would put lemon juice in their milk? That just sounds horrendous. That's how cheese is also made. It's not lemon juice, but I should have looked up what it is. But if you enjoy cheese, you enjoy this process. So you might like this. We're just making like a sweet version of cheese, I guess, technically. Well, we're also not going to separate the curds in the whey and whatnot. So it's different from cheese, but it's like cheese's cousin. So why don't we run through the ingredients and then we'll get into cooking. Heavy whipping cream, sugar, tangerine, and lemon. Okay, so the first step is the hardest step, and pretty much like the only step. The other, technically two, really aren't all that crazy. But this step, very important, and can also cause a huge mess. So I'm probably showing you at least an image, if not clips of me having to clean up my mistakes. But milk on the stove can turn on you like that. So pay attention. I thought I could do the dishes while just kind of looking over periodically. It did not work for me. But the step itself, very simple. You have to strain the cream, which, if you just have a strainer and when you're pouring into the pan, just pour through that, because you don't want any butterfat clumps to be in there, because apparently that like puts a film on the final product and it's just not texturally pleasant. Beyond that, so you got the cream in there, add the sugar, stir it all up on medium heat, let it get to a boil, and then hold it at a boil for 5 minutes. And even if you are paying attention, like constantly stirring, at least for me, it still kind of started bubbling up. So I found just kind of shifting it off the heat for like 2 seconds and then shifting it back, let it kind of dissipate down. So yeah, even if you are there with it, you still have to be paying attention. So like just stare at it, maybe don't even blink, just and wait for the 5 minutes to go by. So yeah, don't do what I did, because cleaning it up was a huge pain. It was not fun. All right, so good luck with that. It's not that bad, just don't be a goof. The next step is just to remove the kind of cream sugar mix from heat, add in the tangerine and the lemon juice, stir it all up, and then let it sit for 15 minutes. The final step is just to pour the Posset now into ramekins, teacups, dishes of some sort that you want to kind of serve it in, and then throw those in the fridge for at least 2 hours. All right, here we have it. I am kind of surprised. I was expecting it to be a lot more liquidy, but it solidified up. Like it's not like rock solid, like you can still kind of easily slide into it, but it holds. And yeah, like I was expecting, I guess, more like a pudding, where it would be solid, but still kind of like flowy, versus this is more, I guess, like on like the butter end of consistency, like softened butter is maybe how I describe that. I'm not sure. But why don't we give this a taste test, and then we will, discuss our final thoughts. All right, so this, extremely good. I'm very happy with that. The kind of bright citrus flavor really kind of balances out that heavy fat content. But the amount of fat I was expecting to be a little bit more, kind of like coats your mouth. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like sometimes things with like a lot of fat, it will kind of give you this like mouthfeel. But this, it feels very clean. Like it doesn't feel like you are consuming essentially just heavy whipping cream, because there's really nothing else in it besides the sour and the citrus. Sugar. I think I said sour. Sugar. and yeah, it's just so simple, like handful of ingredients, not a whole lot of skill required beyond not being a goof and looking away. If you pay attention, very simple to do. Takes a little bit of time just in the setting process, but the hands-on, barely anything. And yeah, like it just came out great. I want to try it with other citrus, like with like lime and stuff like that. Maybe do, what was it, blood orange that I did in like a video like last April. See if what color it turns it, because that has a pretty distinct like dark red color. But then in that video, I was expecting that outcome, and I think it just turned the like pie filling pink color, and that was a little surprising. But this would be interesting if it was pink, or putting some like zest in, because that would be like a little like kind of like flakes of color, would be really cool looking. Super simple. Everybody should give it a go. I don't really have anything else to say, because I rambled a lot in the beginning, so we're gonna kind of cut the ending a little bit short. And on that note, bye mom, still not dead. See ya.